My chat is missing. There it is. All right, we're getting ready. We're not here yet. Not open yet. Doing a mic check. Give me a mic check, everybody. Mr. Mike, give me a check. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right, TJ, thanks. We got a few minutes. 8 minutes. Let's see, we got January, December. Hey John, welcome, welcome. Take a look in the file folder. Take a look in the file folder. There's a folder, it says files. There's some useful files in there that might help you. Okay, we are streaming on YouTube today. Okay, everybody, okay. All right, I think we're going to get going. So welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus and the WASDE report. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. Okay, so let's get ready for a WASDE. Now, if we're trading a WASDE report, that means that some of you may never have traded grains before, all right? So there's no difference between trading the grain and trading gold and trading the S&P. So there's no reason to be worried that you don't know how to do it. The only thing sometimes you might want to do is we're going to change our trading time template for the soybeans. First off, the correct contract for today is ZS0325. The second contract we're going to trade, but some prop traders cannot trade it, is ZC, the corn, ZC0325. Last month, we were not able to trade corn in a prop account. And when I questioned Bullinox on what the problem was, they said, you know how you can't trade bonds? Well, you can't trade corn. So there's some sort of scam that went on with bonds, so Apex says. Who knows what the truth is? All you know is that you can't trade bonds, you can't trade corn. What's next? Are they going to keep adding more and more instruments? I don't know. Right now, not being able to trade corn is not that big a deal because the soybeans are moving better on the WASDE report. However, I would not want to not have a choice as to what instrument I can trade because some company tells me I can't trade it. So, you know, that's one of the things you give up when you go prop. You give up yourself being able to make all your own choices. So it's just one of the things you want to be aware of. So I would suppose if we tried to put on a live corn trade, right? It'll get rejected. That's my guess. A live corn trade would get rejected. Maybe not. Maybe it's working.
Order submitted.
Right now it's letting me put a buy limit, a buy stop on $500 corn.
Order canceled.
That's interesting. I would have thought it would have not allowed it. And in fact, that's what it should have done if it's not allowed. So I might try and set up a corn trade. We'll see if it works. We'll see. So before I go on a rant, we're going to try and check the truth. Truth is always best. Okay, now trading template time. Right click the chart, click data series, and look at the trading hour template and put it on default 24/7. Apply it and okay. And that actually is the correct trading hour template for the grains. Do the same thing for corn. Right click the chart, click data series, trading hours, default 24/7. It just has to do with the time that your indicators and pivots calculate. That's what that template deals with for us. So the high of day pivot might be slightly different when you use a trading hour template. Where do you get the DMM? So did I forget to update the WASDE DMM? Let me take a look. Roz, let's see. I don't think I didn't update it. I'm always pretty darn good about updating the everything. I mean, I was telling Langford my job is not a one-person job, but one person does it. That's the truth. So I definitely have made more mistakes this year than I've ever made before, and it's probably because now I'm 900 years old, and I used to be 800 years old before that. So I think that is a factor. I'm just getting very, very, very old. So Roz, I have to say that you're not correct. This old guy has it updated, okay? So you gotta log into the member area, 10minutetrades.com, and then Roz, you should have access on the left side that says Daily Market Movers, and then you click DMM, and then you can download the DMM. Do you not get the emails, Roz? Because you should get the emails also, right? You should get the emails. Clear your browser cache, Roz. Clear your browser cache. Okay? That's something you should definitely do. That goes without saying. If you don't get normal, every browser's different, just make Google your friend. Make Google your friend. Just whatever browser you're using, Google, how do I clear the cache? Usually there's a settings tab for every browser, and one of the choices will be clear the cache. Because what's happening is, it sounds to me like you're getting old data. And then I'll check, Roz, to make sure that all your access and stuff is set up properly. Maybe something got screwed up. Okay? So I'll make sure if you got the emails before, I'll make sure that you're on all the lists. Maybe something got screwed up. It's possible. I'll definitely check that. All right, let's look at the DMM. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is a crazy day. Where is my DMM? Why doesn't it show up where it should? There it is. Okay, here's the WASDE. So WASDE, make sure that you're on ZS 325, ZC 325. 325. 325. ZS is our bracket of 12, the stop is 20. We had a very nice 65 tick move last month, but remember, last month we had quarterly grains, okay? Quarterly grains were part of the setup. So you had two very good reports together. Roz, I'm always right. Yeah. I wish. So we've got to, let's set up this WASDE trade. So I'm going to right click, click strategies, double click JOBB version 11. Look for a template. I probably have a template. The other thing I'm going to do is set up a reverse continue on your soybean chart. So first thing we're looking for is our main setup. Let me see if I have a valid recent template that's really recent. Now I'm gonna have a problem with the Cisco trade room, you all. So I can't be in the trade room. But I might make it like 4 minutes before the trade if I can do what I'm gonna try and do. WASDE is a breakout trade. 11 now, 11, it's a 12 o'clock event. 11:59:58 is our trigger. Bracket is 12. And I'm only looking for targets anywhere between 8 and 30-ish. I think I would not be super greedy on WASDE. It can absolutely reverse, and that's why I'm setting up a secondary trade. These trades often do reverse. I will do a target 1 stop move of break even minus 3 or 4, somewhere in there. The stop is 20. Position size 1 is a 1. Position size 2 is a 1 if you want to trade, 1 contract for each. That's what that means. So the bracket is 12. We're triggering at 11:59:58. The stop is 20. Targets anywhere between
Fed's Powell says
8
manufacturing
ticks,
is a smaller part of the economy
30 to
than before,
35
though still
ticks is what
important.
I would use for targets. Then don't forget to label your trade. I have soy, and I'll label it breakout, BRK. And then choose the account that you're trading it in, okay? Then apply it, and now I'm going to put the time on 0 just for a minute, but I want everything in sim before I get set. So my account is in sim. I'm going to put my time on 0 for a moment, because I want to just check the width of the brackets, the volatility of the current market. Both can be checked with a 0 time trade where the first numbers are 0. Because the minute there's price movement, my brackets will appear. Interesting, all of a sudden there's no price movement.
Order submitted.
There's price movement. It calculates the bracket. Very tight range on the soybeans this morning. It looks like they're waiting for this report.
Order canceled.
Right in between the high and the lows, almost equally. Then I go back and I set my strategy for the correct time, 11:59:58, and then apply it again so it takes the change. But before I do that, don't forget, choose the account you're trading on, and then apply it, and okay it, and then put your chart trader on that account. Okay, so that's our breakout for soybeans, and make sure you put your time back, which we did, so when you enable the trade you don't trigger early. And Now I'm going to set up a reversal continuation. Targets anywhere between 8 and 35. 8 and 35. On my continuation, I'm putting a second strategy on the same chart. Choosing reversal continuation. Just one position, and I'm going to look for a 20 tick target and a 20 tick stop. So that's if, look, there could be a quick stop out, but maybe there would then be an obvious direction that we should have been in. So I like on this report to have a possibility of taking a reversal if it comes to it. And then I would do it on the same account that I was trading the breakout on, because I'm not going to have time to change charts. Now when you look at corn has not been trading well at all on the breakout, and it really hasn't been doing very well for trap trades. Okay? It just hasn't. Last month we got a big burst, and that's because of the quarterly grains, but it certainly gives you room for pause. I'm actually a little bit nutty, and I think corn is better. Corn so often, even when it moves very small, reverses. So at a minimum, you want to have a reversal. Somebody help Ed out. I think he needs a doctor. Corn, you want to have a reverse continuation. All right. Or you might want to take a risk on the trap trade. Okay. You might want to take a risk on the trap trade. So I'm tempted. I'll tell you, because there was such a large move, even though it was quarterly grains and WASDE mixed together, it's a little bit out of character move for corn, that it might be safer to just put a reversal continuation on. A reversal continuation on. I'm sorry, rather than the trap. I'm a little bit tempted to do the trap, but to put on a reverse continuation, you just click JOBB version 11, choose reverse continuation, one position. I would only do a 15 tick target with a 15 tick stop. That's what I would consider for the corn trade. Label it. Choose your account, of course. Label it. Corn. I'm not interested in a corn breakout, so I'm not setting it up. They just haven't been performing at all. Look, you had one winner on WASDE.
Powell says it's not obvious that lower rates would lead to lower housing
WASDE,
inflation.
quarterly grains together. The corn breakout hasn't really been working in it's more than a year. So I'm not interested in setting up the breakout today. I'll watch a reverse continuation on corn, and that's assuming our prop company is going to let us trade it. Position 1 is a 1, target of 15, stop of 15. That's all I'm setting up on corn, and I'm just labeling it corn because that's the only thing I'm doing on corn. Apply it, okay it, turn it on, and it gives me my buttons, okay? And then we have our reversal on soy, And then Ravi wanted to see the breakout settings again. No problem. 11:59:58 on the trigger. Got a bracket 12. Position 1's a 1, position 2's a 1. That means we have a target, a contract of 1 on each position. And then targets should be anywhere between 8 and 35-ish. The stop is 20 on corn.
Powell says that
soybeans,
whether the
sorry.
cost of tariffs reaches consumers depends
And
on
then
the
I would
factors that we
consider
haven't
the
seen
target
yet.
1 stop move, break even 3 or 4 or 2, however you like to use that feature. You don't have to copy my exact settings. I'm not smart enough to know what the exact position that should be set at. That's really discretionary. Okay, that is a discretionary choice. And then choose your account, label your trade under label, apply it, and okay it, and then make sure, of course, that it's checked in the box, in the control panel box. So I expect two things to happen. I expect that there will be a breakout on soybeans on this chart here. All right, we will get a breakout, I do believe. Remember, this is sort of a private report, although Financial Juice has been covering it now, so we will hear when the news comes out, which is new for WASDE. They went through a period where they covered it, they didn't cover it, they covered it for a while. Right now they're covering it, so that's convenient because it'll help us know for sure when the news gets out. Let's take a look at what happened a year ago today. A year ago today. A year ago today, our setup was fairly close. Our bracket was a tiny bit different. Look at though,
Phone.
the
I have to
report
let
was
it
really
ring
kicking
and
it.
not
The
pick
report
up, so
was
forgive
really
the
kicking
noise.
it a year ago.
I do want to thank everyone for
I
watching
still
us
think
on
soybeans
YouTube.
are
So,
okay.
you can join.
But a year ago, we had 6 winners in a row coming into the February report. Thanks everyone on YouTube, by the way. Hit that like button, all right? If you're on YouTube watching us, we're streaming. We have a whole bunch of people watching. Thanks for watching.
Okay, it hit my first target.
And a year ago, it hit the first target. We had a
Remember, my
decent
second
move,
target
not
is
bad.
huge.
And you could see the
So I'm
corn
trying
trap
not to
trade
trail all
did
the way
not
to it.
fill. Didn't
So
hit
look,
the
I was
TP.
pretty patient.
And then it followed through on corn, which is a little bit unusual, on soybeans, which is a little bit unusual. It did follow through. Look at that follow through. Usually we get our reversal. That was a year ago. Last month.
So Trump confirms
REV
sending US Treasury Secretary
soy.
Bessent to
All right.
Ukraine to meet Ukraine's President Zelensky on minerals.
Last month. Come on.
So in 10 minutes time now, at the top of the hour, I do see the release of the WASDE end stock numbers for soft commodities. Corn end stocks forecast 1,540 million on the prior 1,540 million.
There's the
Cotton end
move.
stocks expected to remain unchanged as well at 4.8 million.
Corn.
Soybean end stocks
I
expected to
think
remain
it
unchanged
blew
at
our
380
trap.
million, while wheat
It should have
end
blown the
stocks
trap.
expected to remain unchanged at
And
798 million.
soybean was
More
real
commodities news
nice.
at the top of the hour as we
Soybeans were
expect the
real
release of
nice.
the EIA's short-term energy outlook
There was a
report.
very
We're also
unexpected
expecting
move on
possible comments
corn.
from
It was a
ECB's
very good
Schnabel.
breakout on corn. And when you look at the DMM, you see it's rather rare at the moment for a big breakout on corn. Okay. Now, you know what's funny? Why is my webcam not showing up on here, but it's on YouTube? That's weird. I have to figure that out. There must be a setting in OBS that I don't have right. But that's what it is. let's take a look at the month before, December WASDE. December WASDE, soybeans on the left, corn trap on the right. And the order was rejected on corn by Bullinox. And just did not have a good follow through on soybeans and got stopped out. Now, interestingly, corn had my charts were spread pretty far, okay? That is not a big move. It's only about, if you look at the DMM, it was not that many ticks. It was $2, $3, 12-ish ticks. It's not nearly as big as it looks. December was not a good trade. It didn't follow through, but November was, if I want to remind everyone, one of our great WASDE reports. Is the video working properly? Not quite, I don't think. Beautiful, beautiful move. A lot of people in the trade room made money that day. If you notice, corn didn't really budge. Even though soybeans had a great move, the corn burger didn't do much at all. Corn didn't fill our trap, all right? And it was not worth taking the breakout. So normally with WASDE, we don't know when the news is out. Now I notice our friends at Financial Juice are covering it. They've been covering it for a little bit. Okay. I'm not going to lie and say that I have any idea, because we've never had the news really covered on this report. I don't know how the market responds to the news yet, because I've not seen enough news results with the report. It hasn't mattered in all the years that we've traded this report. We've always been able to trade it, not even knowing when the news was released. It's usually on time. You know what? It's funny. Before the pandemic, we used to have a lot more reports that went longer before we got a fill. We did have, I remember going a minute in a WASDE. I remember going a minute. Now this was October. Generally with WASDE, it's the kind of report you know the news is out when you get filled. But now, like I said, Financial Juice is covering it. We'll know the news is out. Over the years, maybe there was a WASDE or two that we canceled. October, let's see, did it follow through and hit the target? It was slow. Usually WASDE is not slow, usually. So it struggled to make the target. It got there. It did get there. All right. 1 minute chart. 1 minute chart. Everything looks set up. So like I said, what I'm expecting is the news should be fairly close to being on time. If you look at soybeans, not all that different from last night. Same thing is true of corn, not all that different from last night. We're in the time of year where usually the WASDE, because you're in like planting seasons, and you know, it's the time of year where there's more activity in the grains. So I'd like to think we'll get better moves this time of year. 30-second chart is absolutely fine. I trade on a 30-second chart all the time. I like trading on a 30-second chart for the squeeze. When I look at the squeeze, it gives good signals on a 30-second chart with a momentum set to 17. And John asked a question, if we give the
1 minute left of the
parameters
top
in
of the
the
hour.
room
I'm leading with
before
the
the
WASDE corn end
trade.
stocks.
I'm assuming he means there was no DMM for McDonald's. So absolutely, we go over the settings over and over in the room when we have what I call a trade room event rather than just a DMM. If there's no DMM, we almost always have a trade room. So our orders will show up on the chart 2 seconds
As a
before
sharp increase
we
in M2 money
expect the
supply might
news.
cause some inflation. 10 seconds to the top now.
Order
There's the
submitted.
brackets.
1,540 million
The
as
news is out.
expected.
Order
Soybean end stocks
submitted.
380
Look
million
at
as
that
expected.
corn.
Wheat end stocks 794 million, lower
Maybe
than
we're
forecast
going into a
798 million,
change.
while cotton end stocks at 4.9 million, which is higher than forecast 4.8
Maybe
million.
we're going into a change where corn. So there is a problem here. I don't know that we're going to survive it. I'm going to combine my orders into one. Let's see if it'll push. If it'll push down. Not getting good follow through out of this report, that definitely has me concerned.
Order submitted.
It wouldn't let me take my long on corn, so the prop account trading is still not allowed. Deep down in my heart, I don't like so many things about prop trading.
Order filled.
Okay, look, I don't know what to tell you, folks. I figured maybe it would test the low, but I would probably not hang
Powell
around
says,
very
I commit
much
that we will never
in
have a
this
central bank
trade. We're
digital
not
currency.
getting a good
So again,
follow through.
Powell says, commit
But
that we will
corn
never
is
have a
not
central bank
reversing.
digital
Maybe
currency.
I could thank the prop company for not taking my order today, because corn's not reversing. The heat is so high in my office, I think that part of my brain melted. I'm being extremely conservative about taking a reversal on soybeans because I don't like what I'm seeing out of corn. It's just pushing down. We didn't get a good push down, but you should have been able to get out of this trade with a couple of dollars. No, the bracket's not
That's
too
Powell saying
large.
the
We
US won't
shrunk
have
it,
a
Calvin. It's
CBDC while he
12.
is Fed chair.
It used to be 20. It's definitely not too large. It just wasn't a very good move. I mean, look, it's something you look at going forward, though. I mean, if we get 3 in a row that act like this, then you go, yeah, maybe the bracket's too large. We're not getting a
So let's see some of the
reversal.
numbers from the EIA's
You
short-term
could say
energy
that I
outlook
was
report. Current
impatient,
year
but
crude
I don't
forecast
like
at
WASDEs that
13.5 at
don't
9
move.
million barrels per day,
That was an
which is up from the prior
uncharacteristic move.
13.55 million barrels per day. Forward year at
I
13.73 million
think that
barrels per
what
day,
we might
up from the
have is
prior
a test of the
13.62
low.
million barrels per day.
It's a great place to take a long, but I'm paranoid to take the long because there's still a lot of pressure to the downside. Look at the downward pressure on the squeeze. I'm not going long with that. That's outrageous pressure. It's unnatural. I'm not doing it. If anything, it looks like there's more pressure to the downside. Everybody should have made a couple of dollars if you didn't panic. If you just stayed in the trade, you made a couple of dollars. Okay? That's
US oil
as
production,
simple as it gets.
excuse me,
Can't get
EIA
any
sees the
simpler.
2025 Brent
And
price
I
averaging
would say that it's time
$74.50
to
a barrel.
put breakouts
Prior
back
forecast was
on corn.
$74.31
If
a
you
barrel.
look at
2026
the
forecast
size
was
of the corn move,
$66.46 a
though,
barrel.
so
Previous
that you're
forecast
not
unchanged there,
foolish,
$66.46.
the corn
The EIA also sees
candle
this year's
is
world oil
27
output of
ticks.
104.6
That's
million
tradable.
barrels per day,
All right?
which is up from the prior
That's
forecast of
tradable.
104.4
Corn
million
is
barrels per day.
now tradable as
2026
a
output seen at
breakout.
106.2 million
Okay.
barrels per day, up from the prior
Ravi was very
105.9 million
patient,
barrels
so
per
he had
day.
a nicer
And the
trade.
EIA sees this year's
I made a
WTI
buck and a
price average
quarter.
of
Who else?
$70.62
Let's
a barrel.
check in.
Prior forecast saw
So,
$70.31 a barrel.
Roz,
For
why
the
did you
2026
lose? That's
forecast,
the
they're seeing
question is, why did you lose
$62.46 a
on
barrel.
that?
Previous
What
saw
happened?
$62.46 unchanged.
It sounds like I'm thinking a psychological loss, because if you just went with the charts, you wouldn't have lost. Yeah, you moved the stop, you panicked. You panicked. If you notice, I didn't. Now, where was your stop, Roz? Where was your stop? I mean, sorry, where was your fill? Where was your fill? Moving your stop into a loss, I mean, I don't understand, actually. We didn't really have a great, we'll look at the video. We'll look at the video. We'll look at the video. 1051, that was the same fill I got. 2 ticks away. So it wasn't the fill. It wasn't the fill. That fill was okay. It wasn't great. It was alright. I'm thinking, I'm not sure what you did. Yeah, everybody's panicking. So folks, it is hard not to panic. I mean, I totally get it. I panic. But what did I do instead of panicking? I combined my orders. It took my mind off panicking. It looked like the trade wasn't working very well, but it wasn't moving that fast. So when it's not moving that fast, don't panic. Just don't. And it's a question of just don't. Soybeans are trying to reverse. Corn's reversing a little bit. But you still have strong squeeze. Now, turn off your breakout. Okay? It should do a little bit of reversing. It really should. Do I want to take a long? I've already missed half of it. So I'm not going to chase the reversal now. It's probably going to, who knows, it could go all the way back up to the high. It's crazy, but there was a lot of pressure. I'm putting my chart on 30 seconds for a reason. Because I want to look at the squeeze. See what nice signals you get on the squeeze on 30 second. You get a much better reversal confirmation than you do on the 1 minute. 30-second squeeze on the indicator. The momentum length should be set to 17. Set to 17. Okay? And that gives you that momentum change down here, right where it started today. It was a very good signal. So we should trade WASDE on 30-second charts. Same thing with corn. Should trade it on 30-second charts. And you know what? I'll make a note. We'll always do that going forward. No longer will we not do that. All right, I'm just looking to see what happened to everybody else. So squeeze is not free, John, so you've got to look around online to see whose squeeze you want to
Israeli
make a
PM
purchase
Netanyahu
of.
says if Hamas does not return our hostages by Saturday noon, the ceasefire
There's
will
a whole
end
bunch,
and the
there's a
military
lot
will
of
return to
squeezes
intense
out there.
fighting until
You could
Hamas
look
is
in the
finally
Ninja
defeated.
Trader
Again, Israeli
ecosystem to
PM,
see. It's been
if
a long
Hamas does not
time
return
since I've
hostages
looked.
by noon
Maybe
on
somebody has
Saturday,
posted a
ceasefire will
squeeze.
end and the military will return to intense fighting until Hamas is finally defeated.
John, send me an email and I'll here's an email you can use. Let me write it down for you. John, I know who you are. John D with an S. You have an S in your last name too. I know who you are. You're brand new. I know exactly who you are. Okay, good. The squeeze is free on TOS. Right, Arthur, but how does that help? It doesn't help anybody, except that people have a TOS account, which is not very many people in here. And you know why it's free on TOS? Because John Carter gave it to them. I wish they'd give it to Ninja for free. Help at 10minutetrades.com. John, send me an email and I'll just help you to locate some of the squeezes. Now, Alan, if you have TOS, you could watch the squeeze. You know what I mean? You could watch the squeeze on TOS. It's not as convenient. You know, it's like watching the way we watch charts, you know. So the key, folks, if you have a squeeze, and see how the reverse, not as good as usual today. However, it still did reverse. To use the squeeze, which I like to do after news at times, the only thing I change is the momentum length, and then we make the colors so that you can see the change in momentum. That's really important. I don't like my yellow-green color these days on my green squeeze. I don't mind the lime. I don't even like the lime. I think I would like dark green better. There we go. I like this better. Watch, this will look better. That's better. I like the coral and the red. I think they work very well for a difference in momentum. So the only thing we change is that momentum length. And that's really best on a 30-second chart, okay? Best on a 30-second chart. So let's look at the video and see if we can help Roz figure out what happened. Can we look at the video? First, let me take care of a couple of things. Number one, thank you everybody on YouTube. Most folks on YouTube, they bail out after the trade is over. So hit the like button, everyone on YouTube. Really appreciate it. And darn it. Oh, I did start recording. Let me see if I can grab the recording.